people say, are these really angels or are they spirit teachers? And
Same.
throughout all 3 volumes of this book, all of the messages that were signed, some were signed with a name, some were signed with initials, but none of the messages were signed your guardian angel, your loving angel, your high angel, uh, your guardian angel. None of the messages were signed with an angel name.
Hmm.
They were all signed either with initials, a different name, or your spirit guide, your loving spiritual teacher, or teachers, depending on whether it was a singular or a plural signature. And I think that's interesting. It's telling because Wilma Jean, being brought up with a strong foundation of faith, she was prone to use the term angels. But she typed one time in a message that she would go with what was being given, not with
Hmm.
what she was prone to use from her own point of view.
Hmm. Yeah, that upbringing, and I know you were raised, and she was as well, of in a very Pentecostal environment, and like you said, aren't they a little hell and brimstone? I can't remember, but yet you describe yourself as spiritual rather than religious. Did you wrestle and your mother wrestle with doubt or skepticism even while witnessing these messages unfold, especially with how judgmental a lot of these religions can be and like, oh, you're talking to the devil. Like, oh, that's blasphemy. And like, you can't channel it only like a priest and it's only God and Jesus. And I hear even a lot of that even now from some of these episodes that I even put out just about how you can only, it's the devil to do these things.
I did not have any doubts and I didn't wrestle with whether or not this information was really coming from a high source. And with the influence that I had with my mother and her faith that she was protected, she had no problems with it either. Now, I know people who just desperately cling to the belief in heaven and hell that we will go to for all eternity. And I knew a lady one time um, that she had a son that was constantly getting into trouble, constantly. The money from the time he was 14 till he was 28 years old, the money they spent on bail and fines and attorneys to get him out of trouble, it was really just a nightmare for the family. She was brought up Baptist, extremely religious, daily reader of her Bible, went to church every Sunday and Wednesday evening. And she knew the material and the information that I was involved in. And I asked her one time, I said, is there anything that your son could do, anything at all, that would cause you to want to punish him forever and ever, for all eternity? And she just put her head down and said no. And I said, what makes you think God loves us any less? Do you really believe that based on this blink of an eye existence that we live, that we are going to be sentenced to eternal punishment and damnation forever with no chance for reprieve, no chance for a do-over because we had bad parents, chose bad friends, made bad decisions?